What's up YouTube, it's your boy Nash here, welcome back to the channel, and today I'm going to be giving you guys my predictions for NXT Worlds Collide. Now I know what you guys are thinking, wait a minute, didn't you just do a video earlier today? Yes I did, however, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to post this video in tomorrow like normal. That is because at the time that I'm recording this video, which is going to be the same day that I am posting it, which is Tuesday, August 30th, unfortunately, yeah, I was filming. Guys, I apologize, my grandfather just walked in on me. Anyway, where was I? Where was I? Oh, right. Right. Speaking of my grandfather, I actually had I have to go with him to take their dog to the vet to get her shots, and her appointment is at 9 in the morning. So by the time I would start to upload the video, it will have been 9 in the morning already. So I figured just post it now and go back to the regularly scheduled posting on Thursday. So hopefully you guys are ready for Worlds Collide. If you guys are and you guys want to see more premium live event predictions in the future, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and follow me on all of my social media. Links will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail, which will also be in the description as well. Now, you guys are probably going to ask yourselves, why are these matches taking place? So, as of right now, it's basically it's a night where all four worlds collide. Raw, SmackDown, NXT, NXT UK. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 titles defended. We have 5 title matches, including this first one that was just announced earlier tonight during NXT. It is for the North American title between current champion and former champion. But you guys are wondering, wait a minute, who's the former champion? All the other former champions are on the main roster. That's the basic idea, because one of those former champions is Ricochet. Ricochet ended up making his return to NXT for the first time in what, 5 years, I believe? In like 3... I think for the first time in 3 years, actually. 3-4 years. And of course, too, the last title that he held in NXT was the North American title. He actually became the second ever North American champion in history, which is a hell of a feat. And Carmelo Hayes being one of only 2 people to have held the North American title twice. Who is the other? None other than Johnny Gargano, who became the only 3-time champion in history, which is a history-making moment. But this is an interesting matchup because you have two men with the same clash of styles. You know they're both high flyers. They're both technical wrestlers, and it comes down to who wants it more. Is it Ricochet or is it Carmelo Hayes? People forget. You guys may forget that even though Ricochet has been a part of WWE for quite some time, when it comes to NXT, he's a little rusty. So obviously, when it comes to being in a NXT ring, obviously ring rust will definitely become a factor going into this match. But obviously, we know that Carmelo Hayes is also going to have Trick Williams in his corner, which might not bode well for Ricochet. But knowing Ricochet, he's always defied all the odds. You know, go back to, what was it, SummerSlam 2019? Go back to SummerSlam 2019. Actually, sorry, go back to, well, what is it, Extreme Rules? No. Stomping Grounds. Is it Stomping Grounds? Yes. Yeah. 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 Take you back to WWE Stomping Grounds in 2019, where he actually defeated Samoa Joe to retain the NXT title, and Samoa Joe had thrown everything at Ricochet, and then of course too he ended up losing the title to AJ Styles, lost again to Styles at SummerSlam, and then at Clash of Champions, nothing happened. Yeah, so Ricochet knows a thing or two about battling the odds, and this was a hell of a time for Ricochet. So we know that Ricochet is a Triple Crown champion in WWE, North American champion, U.S. champion, IC champion. He's done it all in WWE, and I think for him to for him to become North American champion once again would truly be an awesome thing for Ricochet, especially if he were to bring the title to SmackDown. Think of what that would do to SmackDown's morale as far as the ratings go. Obviously we know that now that Triple H is running things in WWE as the head of creative. Now ratings are slowly starting to climb back up again, because you guys know when Vince was running, ratings went down low. Ratings went down low, and it was horrible. But with Triple H running things, slowly starting to build up. But who wins this match? Honestly, it has to come down to experience, which definitely is Ricochet. But if you're talking about who has the X factor, it's definitely Carmelo Hayes. This is going to be a very interesting matchup, but I gotta go with Carmelo Hayes on this one. With Trick Williams bailing him out, there's no way that Ricochet will be able to regain the North American title. Speaking of titles, we move on to the first of 3 title unification matches on NXT Worlds Collide. This one will be for the tag team titles, as the NXT tag team champions, the Creed brothers of Diamond Mine, and of course Josh Briggs and Brooks Jensen, the NXT UK tag team champions, will be defending against Pretty Deadly and Gallus in a fatal 4-way match. So this is going to be a really interesting matchup, because Gallus, they've been NXT UK tag team champions before, and of course they ended up losing those titles to Pretty Deadly, which I believe I have their match in my top 10 greatest NXT UK tag team title matches of all time list. I will be doing that video this coming Thursday, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. This Thursday, stay tuned. You don't want to miss it. But yeah, that was a hell of a matchup. But this is going to be really interesting, because obviously we saw earlier tonight on NXT the absolute brawl that took place. It literally took the entire building. It took every single security guard, every single referee, every single NXT superstar, and management from the backstage area to split all 10 of these men apart. And you guys wonder, wait a minute, 10? What do you mean? Gallus has 3 members: Mark Coffey, Joe Coffey, Wolfgang. Diamond Mine has 4 male members, but Roger Shawn ended up leaving. So there's 3: Damon Kemp and the Creed brothers. Plus you got Pretty Deadly and Briggs and Jensen. This is going to be a hard-hitting matchup, but it all comes down to, basically, as I said with the North American title, who needs this more? Honestly, it's the Creed brothers. The Creed brothers need this match more than anything, because when they were a part of that tag team turmoil earlier this year, after the NXT tag titles were stripped by, obviously, MSK. We all know what happened there. The Creed brothers came this close. They entered the match at number 1, went all the way into the final, only for them to lose to Pretty Deadly. So unfortunately, they kept scratching, they kept clawing until finally they were able to defeat Pretty Deadly. I believe it was at In Your House, if I'm right on that. I believe it was at In Your House. I'll have to look closely, because I have the photos on my Instagram. Yeah, I was right. NXT In Your House. The Creed brothers have been champions ever since, and that was a hell of a matchup, to be honest. But again, the Creed brothers need this, because if they lose, there's no telling what Roderick Strong will do or say to the Creeds once Worlds Collide comes to a close. So again, there's really no telling what will happen should they lose, but it's hard. It's at this point, it's kind of hard to say, because Gallus had dominated. They dominated NXT UK since all three of them joined forces. And of course too, Pretty Deadly, when they started in NXT UK, they were just these random dudes who had no career, who were never supposed to have had a career in WWE, but they ended up having a slight career in WWE, having won the tag team titles from Gallus once the restrictions of COVID started to lift up, and they were able to air new episodes of NXT UK with live action. That was when they ended up becoming tag team champions, and now Briggs and Jensen are the UK champions, and it all comes to an end. The reason being is because of the announcement of NXT Europe. It will be taking place in 2023 next year. So I've got no doubt in my mind that that once NXT Europe comes to pass, all these dudes and chicks who came to NXT from NXT UK will definitely be a part of NXT Europe. Whether it's Pretty Deadly, whether it's Gallus, whether it's Blair Davenport, whether it's Tyler Bate, whether it's whether it's Axiom, because he's actually because judging by his voice, he sounds like he's from Spain, maybe even from Mexico, for all we know. I'm assuming Spain, but then again, I guess A-Kid is also from Spain. Who the fuck am I kidding? Axiom, A-Kid, they're the same person. Who the fuck am I kidding? Here, right? But as far as this matchup goes, the Creed brothers need to win. If they lose, Roddy is going to get on their ass. So definitely the Creed brothers, I'm picking them to win it all this Sunday. Now we move on to a 2 out of 3 falls match between Nathan Frazer and the aforementioned Axiom. This is a match based, just a friendly competition. Both men have a lot of respect for one another, and I don't know. I think it comes down to, who has more stamina. Who has the stamina necessary to walk out of Worlds Collide, with the W. And I think honestly, I think it's gonna be Axiom, and the reason being is because Axiom, this new character of A-Kid is new, it's fresh, and Nathan Frazer, he's been around for a minute, so I've got no doubt in my mind Axiom could very well win it, but of course people forget that Nathan Frazer, originally known as Ben Carter, was trained by Seth freaking Rollins at Seth's wrestling school in his hometown in Davenport, Iowa. So Who knows? Who knows? But I'm sticking with Axiom on this one. And since we're on the topic of Friday Night SmackDown, we got to move on to NXT versus Raw, as Kayden Carter and Katana Chance will be defending the NXT Women's Tag Team titles against Raw's Doudrop and Nikki A.S.H. And this is interesting because Doudrop has never been in the hollow grounds of NXT, not once in her career. Maybe with the exception of like a Worlds Collide event back in like 2019, 2018, like somewhere around there. Other than that, never been a part of NXT. She ended up jump shipping from NXT UK all the way over to the main roster on Raw when Eva Marie came back to WWE after being away for a while because, well, obviously we know that she can't wrestle, and even in her second run, she still can't wrestle. She's better off as a model. Just being real. I'm just being real. I'm being real. She can't wrestle. Just let it be. Let it be. Let it be, right? But Nikki A.S.H. Quite the talent, I will say that. Former Money in the Bank winner, former Raw Women's Champion, three-time women's tag team champion. What's a fourth, right? But it comes down to who wants it more, and I think it's got to be Carter and Chance. If Carter and Chance can somehow manage to isolate Doudrop away from Nikki A.S.H. and just put their focus on Nikki, there's no doubt in my mind that Carter and Chance will win it. But this is Doudrop we're talking about here. She won't quit. So I don't know. I gotta go with Nikki A.S. I gotta go with Doudrop and Nikki A.S.H. on this one. I think their experience is gonna be far too much for Carter and Chance. But there is one key factor that we cannot, I repeat, we cannot discount. You guys don't know? Well, if you guys do know, then I'm sure you probably posted in the comments who it is. But but for those who don't, Toxic Attraction, Gigi Dolan, JC Jane, they are definitely going to become X Factors going into this matchup, because with Carter and Chance now being, now the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions, that means that Toxic Attraction is going after them, and they're gonna do whatever it takes to win. They will do whatever it takes to win, and I think, honestly, this matchup may end up being just the match that will truly elevate Carter and Chance to a whole new level if they win. But of course, even if they do, they have to deal with Toxic Attraction. But then of course too, if Doudrop and Nikki A.S.H. win, they'll also have to deal with Toxic Attraction. So it really doesn't matter either way. Either way, Toxic Attraction will end up regaining the titles at some point. So who wins? I got to go with Carter and Chance. Again, they need this victory more than anything. But speaking of Toxic Attraction, we move on to a triple threat match for both the NXT and the NXT UK women's titles, as Mandy Rose and Meiko Satomura will be defending their titles against Blair Davenport in a triple threat match where it's winner take all. It's a title unification match. And this is interesting because Mandy Rose has been NXT Women's Champion for literally almost a year. I think since Halloween Havoc last year. And she had a hell of a run as champion. Hell of a run. And and her run is still going strong. It's still going strong. And I've got no doubt in my mind that even if Mandy Rose were to lose, she'll definitely go down in history as one of the most dominant women's champions we've had in a long time. I think possibly since Shayna Baszler, because people forget. Let's see. I want to look up Asuka's run, because Asuka. I think her run lasted well over a year. Yeah, I believe well over 500 days that she was. That she was NXT Women's Champion. Let's see. 523 days. I think Shayna Baszler's run was 405 days. Somewhere around there. Let's see. Let's see here. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, I think it was like for like well over 400 days. She never surpassed Asuka's run. So I've got no doubt in my mind that Mandy Rose will go down in history as a great champion. Meiko Satomura is already on that level. There's a reason why she's known as the final boss. It's because no matter who she's up against, she always pushes them to their limit. And whether she wins or whether she loses, it really doesn't make a damn, because Meiko Satomura, again, whether she wins or loses, she always pushes her opponents beyond their breaking point until either she wins or loses, in which her match with Alba Fire, was it like last year? Yeah, I think it was like last year. I want to take a look. I want to take a look at that list that I did. Let's see. Yeah, it was like sometime. It was like sometime last year, and it was a hell. It was a hell of a matchup, hell of a match, absolutely insane. And then of course you got Blair Davenport, one of the women that Meiko defeated to retain her title, sometime like last year, earlier this year. She's gonna be a dark horse in this matchup, because you guys are wondering how is she the #1 contender? If I had to take a guess, I would probably have to say it may have something to do with the Fatal 4-Way that's going to take place this Thursday on NXT UK. It's possible, but I'm not gonna. I'm not really gonna sugarcoat, how it happens, because honestly, I have yet to see that episode myself. But Blair Davenport is probably one of the biggest threats to both Rose and Satomura as champion, because if Blair wins and she takes those titles and unifies them, there is no doubt in my mind she's gonna have a massive hold on to the NXT women's division until NXT Europe comes to pass, in which case she may end up having to give up the title, go to NXT Europe and be their champion at that time, which it's a possibility. But again, it's Meiko Satomura, it's Mandy Rose. They'll do whatever the hell it takes to win. Especially Rose with Toxic Attraction backing her up. There's no doubt in my mind Mandy Rose could potentially win, but I have to go with Meiko Satomura for the sole reason that she's the final boss. You know, people forget that when she was in the 2018 Mae Young Classic, when she was in the second women's in the second Mae Young Classic, she actually she dominated that tournament up until like I want to say, what was it, the semifinals, if I'm right? Tournament bracket, let's see. Yeah, literally made it all the way to the semifinals, defeating Killer Kelly, Mercedes Martinez, and Lacey Lane, who actually is Kayden Carter, funny enough. Only for her to lose to Toni Storm, and then Storm ended up defeating Io Shirai to win the whole tournament, in which Storm defeated Mia Yim, Hiroyo Matsumoto, and Jinny, one of her old rivals, which was a hell of a match, just absolutely insane. And I think the final match lasted 10. Okay, yeah, I think that was it was a hell of a tournament. A hell of a tournament. And if you guys are wondering who else was in that tournament, you had Ariel Monroe, Allison Kay, Ashley Rain, who I believe Allison Kay is known as Sienna from TNA. Ashley Rain, obviously Madison Rain from TNA. Deonna Purrazzo, Matsumoto I mentioned, Io Shirai I mentioned, Isla Dawn, Jesse Alabant, or I guess Jesse Kamea to be more exact, Jinny, Casey Canzaro, Katana Chance, Kayden, Karen Q, who is known as Wendy Chu on NXT, and of course Kayden, in which we hadn't seen her in a while. Kavita Devi, who I believe got released. She got released during the whole COVID fiasco. Lacey Lane, or I guess Kayden Carter, MJ Jenkins, Mako, Mercedes Martinez, Mia Yim, Nicole Matthews, Priscilla Kelly, or I guess Gigi Dolan, funny enough, Rachel Evers, or Rachel Ellering, the daughter of Paul Ellering, Reina Gonzalez, or I guess Raquel Gonzalez, Rhea Ripley, Tainara Conti, who is now a part of AEW from what I've been hearing, Tegan Knox, which unfortunately is no longer in WWE, unfortunately, Toni Storm I mentioned, Vanessa Craven as well, Zaya Brookside, Xia Li, Zatara, and Zeuxis as well. Hell of a tournament. Mako ended up making it all the way to the semifinals. Fortunately, came close to winning the whole thing. But that right there just proves that Mako is always dominant in the ring, and no matter and no matter whether she wins or loses, the respect is there. So who wins this one? Mako Satomura, hands down, in my opinion, because she always finds a way to win under triple threat rules, because she's been in triple threat matches before in WWE. This one will be no different. But we now move on to probably one of the biggest matches in NXT history. Braun Breaker, the NXT champion, versus Tyler Bate, the NXT UK champion. And again, you guys are wondering, how did this come about? This Thursday, the finals of the tournament to crown the new NXT UK champion. It's Tyler Bate versus Trent Seven, former friends in Mustache Mountain and in British Strong Style. Hell, it's gonna be a hell of a match. But you've got two heavy hitters here, right? You have Braun Breaker, who is a second-gen superstar, who is the son of, who is actually the son and the nephew of WWE Hall of Famers, the Steiner brothers, and that right there just proves that right there, you know damn well Breaker is going to be a megastar. He's going to be a big time megastar in WWE. I think his time is up. I think, honestly, between him and Bate, I think Breaker's time is up. I think it's time for him to jump ship from NXT over to the main roster. Honestly, I would love to see Breaker on SmackDown because of some of the men that he could potentially face on SmackDown. You've got Gunther, you've got Roman Reigns, you got the Usos, you've got Sami Zayn, you've got Shinsuke Nakamura, you've got Drew McIntyre, you've got Hit Row, you've got Maximum Male Models, you've got Los Soldadios. These guys, you know the Viking Raiders, Jinder Mahal, Shanky, the New Day. Think of the talent. Think of the talent. And then of course too, you've got Tyler Bate, who's like 24, 25 years old. Already he's in the prime of his career, which is nuts. Absolutely nuts. And is the only two-time champion in NXT UK history, which, honestly, that right there is just history. But it all comes down to who pulls the trigger the fastest. Will it be Braun Breaker and his Gorilla Press Power Slam, or will it be Tyler Bate and the Tyler Driver 97? Honestly, it has to be Braun Breaker. It has to be. He's just 10 times more faster than Tyler Bate. I've got no doubt in my mind that Braun Breaker, he'll be staying for the long haul. But even after Worlds Collide, Tyler Bate he's going to be staying for the long haul himself. But with that being said, that brings me to the question of the day, which is this: among the card as it sits now, because we could have more in the coming days, who do you guys see walk out as the winners? Let me know down in the comments below, and that will do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more premium live event predictions in the future, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you guys do not miss out on any new content that comes your way. And make sure you guys, as always, follow me on all of my social media. Links will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.